Good morning. This is Spirit Journey. Today is June 16th, 2016, and it is 11 a.m. and it's Thursday. I want to talk about several things today. I feel very reflective. It was raining. It's very cloudy outside, and it was raining earlier. And when the weather gets like this, I get more introspective, and it's just a weird feeling. And I think because of that, it's making me think about certain things that had occurred over the weekend, the past weekend. There was a shooting that happened, two separate shootings that happened in Florida. One was a young woman, a singer, who got shot by one of the fans or some lone shooter. And the other event was a mass shooting at a gay club. And well, what I want to do in this video is to tie in about the event, the mass shooting event, in particular about the club, and an event that, an experience that I had a couple of years back after I graduated from this nutrition program, this master's program in nutrition a couple of years ago, and how my experience was, and how all these events, the shooting, the experience with the school, and my volunteer work that I did after graduation, how it all kind of sits in. So I hope I don't get too all over the place, but actually everything is going to tie in. But what I do want to say up front, this little message, and then I'm going to say up front, and then at the end of the video, I'm going to repeat it, just to try to tie everything in. Okay, I have my little notes here, so that's why you see my eyes going down. I'm going to read it. You're going to see and hear things, but you have the power to stay neutral and not to react, okay? And when one reacts, you're not thinking. It's like a reflex. It's as if someone steps on your toe and you say, ouch, and you grab your foot. It happens like, impulsive, The system, whether done consciously or unconsciously, is to manipulate your reality. So, you need to stay centered in yourself to protect yourself, okay? So that's what I want to say up front. And at the end of this video, I want to repeat that so everything is tied in. The first part I want to talk about is a couple of years ago, about 4 years ago, I was completing a master's program in nutrition. And during this this curriculum, we had to read a lot of statistical material regarding different demographics, people's race, age, gender, regions in the United States, and what type of sicknesses that they're prone to. And in particular, they discussed about the state of African Americans / Black people, and it well, the statistics shows that there's a larger percentage of blacks who are overweight and obese in comparison to the general population. And hearing all these negative things made me feel very vulnerable and anxious. And when I finished the program, the school, I did volunteer work at a hospital that is known for, helping catering to the Black population. I worked in a WIC office, and I thought when I was to do my volunteer work there, I felt that maybe this was my calling, and I felt the fervor to serve the Black community, and I spent my resources with things to I thought that was going to help facilitate, the serving of this demographics. But excuse me. But in the end, it made me very anxious and lost a lot of resources, and it's stressing you out. And if something stresses you out that much, you're not of service to anybody. And so when I woke up this morning and seeing that it's really dark outside and kind of feeling ho-hum, and I just started thinking about that, and I said to myself, well, what did you learn from that experience? That you're going to see and hear things that are going to affect you. And what I did, I reacted, And when I say reacted rather than responding, it's because how it left me feel. It made me feel drained. And, I'm not the savior. I am not the savior of poor people, Black people, the hurt. I was getting so worked up. And the system there at that hospital is still in place, is still servicing people. It didn't change. And possibly things probably got worse because you have more people who are unemployed or underemployed. So here, all this feelings that I'm getting, worked up and, wanted to help and save the community, it's still there. It's there for people to use, and hopefully the system stays, remains, because now, resources are dwindling, and so they might be cutting back. Who knows? With the WIC. WIC stands for Women, Infants, and Children, and it is designed to assist pregnant women and mothers of young children who are at a nutritional risk. Okay, and so it's there, and it's also there for people who are who do not have their papers to live lawfully here in the States. It's for those mothers too. They don't turn them away. All these women who are at this nutritional risk, or in their pregnancy, or their little babies or children, it's for them. But either way, I'm sorry, I don't want to get off track. So there was something else that I saw, a video, and so another YouTuber, and he had said something I thought was very profound. I actually saw the video maybe 10 months ago. I forgot I even saw it, and it presented itself, this video again, and I clicked on it, and I saw that I had made a comment to the video. But 10 months later, and how I'm responding to the video, it seemed very fresh. In essence, what his video was about was that people can get worked up into what they call the conspiracy theories, and how is it going, how it can occupy so much of your time, and how is it serving you? Okay, so that is a back note. And now with the Orlando shooting, the mass shooting that happened in a gay club. Now, what I saw firstly, anyone who actually did get shot and killed, the family members, friends of these victims, my condolences to you. If this really happened, my condolences. No one, we all should live in safety, and no one has the right, regardless of your sexual preference, your race, or your gender, or your nationality, no one should be violated with being shot and killed, So I have to say that up front. But my concern with the shooting is it it seems very suspicious, the whole shooting. Um, the people that they interviewed um, were problematic. There was a woman that was crying, and she talked about her son, but it's like no real tears. But again, everybody responds differently to stresses, but it didn't look genuine, and the story that she was sharing just didn't. It sound contrived. You had another person who was being interviewed, a young man, and he said he was in a club and he had gotten shot 4 times in the back, and that it went through his chest, and he's out of the hospital. And this is Thursday, and this event happened Sunday. Now, if you have 4 bullet wounds in your back, and that it came out through the front, you wouldn't be standing and laughing, and it was just a lot of things that didn't sit right with me. And lastly, a man, he was actually a politician, but he's a mature, middle-aged man. He had his hair disheveled. I forget his name. I just remember he had a Spanish surname, and actually he was in politics there, but he's not making mention of who who he really is. And when someone found an old video regarding a scandal regarding him, so it's like, what's going on? These people don't seem like just people at random, but people who, have a past, But so why I'm mentioning that is, okay, people are going to watch the news very intensely regarding this mass shooting, and they're going to possibly react. And what could happen when you react, that people could, the system behind this could use this reaction that you give them to pass laws to hinder your personal rights to have a gun lawfully. They could take away your privileges, and so you become, a target, from someone who has a weapon. And the only way that you will have these weapons, if they pass laws to take them away from you, are the criminals, and that these weapons could be used against you. So I feel that this is actually the aim of this mass shooting, to take away your rights to have arms. And it's also, I think this event is also being used to change the paradigm system. Now, when I think the first video I saw regarding the shooting, it was an official in government, a law official, and when he referred to the victims of the shooting as his community, and that the American community as a whole and as a terrorist event, I was baffled, because it's the first time that a bias attack specifically against the LGBT community as the nation as a whole, it just took me by surprise. So if you now see gays, or being taught that now that the homosexual community is now the general population, and if you question that, you may be considered biased. And so this official is using this new inclusiveness of the gay community as that it's a harm against all of the people of the nation. So if this is the case, and restructuring your thinking about that, it's not us and them, it's Americans, regardless of your this demographics, that now if you speak out, so now you can't speak out against that. and no one wants to be perceived as being biased. So again, they use that information, that sentiment now, and that, again, to pass laws and to rally people to possibly put a ban on weaponry. And again, with the lady that allegedly had a son who was at the club, that she said at the end that about weapon control, So again, I say this not to offend anyone from the LGBT community, but why I say this is that sometimes people could be used as a political ploy to enable some other event and associate it, I was surprised, like in comparison with the shooting that happened in the Carolinas last year. I think the shooter's name was Dylan Roof. But that event was specifically, said as an event against the black community. But the gun laws, I guess it didn't spark as much as they thought it was going to be. Even that event had a lot of ifs about it. It looked like also a false flag or hoax. But again, they were specific about the demographics of that event being an event against black people. But they said, we forgive them. Now this event in Orlando, this mass shooting, which was a horrible event if it actually happened. Now this is not a gay event, a homosexual event, or LGBT. Now it's a national threat against all of us. And that because of that, to pass laws to take away your rights to bear arms. So I want to close this again with the message that I said earlier, that you're going to see and hear things, but you have the power to stay neutral and not react to these news that's designed to ruffle your feathers. That's to socially condition you to think a new way, okay? In this case, about homosexuals now being all of us. So if you're gay or straight, you're attacking one, you're attacking us all, okay? The system, whether consciously or unconsciously, is trying to manipulate your reality. So, in the end, with all this that I mentioned, is to stay centered in who you are, that no one has the right to take away your rights, and no one has the right to try to upset you. Stay calm, stay clear-minded, and see through the hype. I know what I said is very controversial and not designed to offend any ethnic group or demographics, but to just see through the greater picture of what could actually be happening to alter your outcome that is not favorable to you. So please feel free to comment below on this video. You can share this with your friends or family members. You can subscribe to Spirit Journey. And once again, please give me the thumbs up. Have a great day. Bye-bye.